Buying and selling a property. What do conveyancers do? Step 1. The estate agent finds a buyer, agrees a price, then writes to conveyancers with the details. Step 2. They write to their clients with the terms of business, including a menu of optional services in case you'll need these later. To protect against property fraud, you have to provide ID to prove it really is you. The government also needs you to show how you acquired the money to prove it was not through the proceeds of crime. You receive an online link where biometric testing to reduce the risk of your purchase money being stolen by cybercriminals. Step 3. If you're selling, you get a property information form to fill in, giving information about the property, such as if you had any windows, an extension or flood problems. You'll also fill in a fixtures form confirming what times you'll leave at the property, and a lease form if you sell a lease, including the management company you pay your service charges to. Step 4. The conveyancer for the seller sends a draft contract, the property forms and a copy of the deeds to the buyer's conveyancer. The deeds are usually downloaded from the land registry. Step 5. On receipt of the deeds, the buyer's conveyancer will play detective as the law provides for buyer beware. They'll look through the deeds, the forms and searches and raise additional inquiries if they find legal discrepancies. They'll check for any rights that your neighbours may have over your land, for example, a right to use a shared path or any other rights of way. They'll check for private agreements in the deeds that may restrict you from doing things such as building an extension. They'll also check for any breaches in the legal paperwork for windows, electrical works, gas installations and so on. Inquiries are then raised with the seller's conveyancer to point out any relevant discrepancies. The buyer can take a view on some of these, but not all. Don't forget, if you have a mortgage, you must comply with your lender conditions in order to avoid delays. Step 6. Next, your conveyancer will order your searches, including a local search which reveals many things you need to know about, including enforcement notices on their planning laws. Also, a drainage and water search which confirms whether the property is connected to the mains. You may also need more searches depending on your area, such as an environmental search, looking at contamination, a flooding search, energy and transportation search, chancel search, coal search, tin and so on, depending on where you are in the country. Step 7. If the buyer is getting a mortgage, you need to also instruct your conveyancer to help you meet your lender mortgage conditions. This ensures you get borrowings at completion. After several weeks, the mortgage offer is received, as well as the seller's final replies to inquiries. This allows the buyer's conveyancers to send their buyer the reports on title, explain the deeds and the paperwork. This allows the buyer to sign the contract in readiness for exchange, as well as sending their 10% deposit. Step 8. The moving completion date is then agreed between the buyer and the seller via their estate agents. Don't forget to leave at least 5 working days if you're getting a mortgage, because that's the time needed between exchange and completion to allow the lender to send you their mortgage funds. Once the seller and the buyer notify their respective conveyancers of the completion date, the conveyancers will call each other and exchange contracts. At this point, no one can back out, you're safe. Step 9. On completion day, the purchase monies are received in from the buyer and sent to the seller's lawyers. Usually arrives between midday to 2 p.m, but can sometimes take to 5:30 if the UK banking system is busy. Once it arrives with the seller's conveyancer, the estate agent is called to say that they can release the keys to the buyer. Step 10. The seller's conveyancer then repays any mortgage and also the seller's estate agent commission. The buyer's conveyancer registers the change of ownership with the land registry, who can take sometimes a little time to do this. Congratulations, you've moved.